Hey, it's Kim Komando today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. It's always so sad to me when I see lists like this. This one is the top 10 passwords used by CEOs. Okay. So what do you think the number one password is used by a chief executive officer? So these are big guys and gals. They run major corporations. I am sad to say that the number one password is 123456. Okay. Number two on the password list is, of course, password. And I guess some CEOs, they think they're getting clever because number three on the list is 12345. But wait, this must be a brilliant CEO because number four on the list is 123456789. Yeah, that's really going to keep them at bay. All right. You'd never want to use passwords like this. And I know it's hard to come up with a easy to remember password that's also hard to guess. And let me tell you, my passwords are so good that even I don't remember what they are. Yes, I know, it's crazy. All right, here are 5 things that are happening in tech that you need to know about. And number one, I'm super excited about this. And I know it's about batteries. And now, of course, you sit there and go, oh, gosh, Kim, how can you be talking about batteries? It's so incredibly boring. All right, it's not. Listen to what's going on. Lithium-ion batteries, they charge the fastest and they deliver the most power over the longest time. That's why we have them. But from time to time, we have those issues. Occasionally, they blow up and they set things on fire. But now Harvard researchers claim that they've discovered the fix. No more explosions, no more fires. Good news. All right, well, let me just back up just a second. Lithium-ion batteries power every electronic device and all EVs, electric vehicles. But internally, lithium-ion is this pasty compound, and it's packed so densely that sometimes this one thin lithium-ion strip will touch the next one, and when it does that, the results are catastrophic. So these super smart scientists at Harvard, they have the fix. They're calling it the holy grail of batteries. See, I knew this would get exciting for you. So instead of lithium paste, they use actual lithium metal. And then the battery becomes this all-solid device. It's stable and it's safer. And I guess now the big question is, when are we going to see it? When is it going into production? Well, if these batteries perform as Harvard expects, the change is going to happen in about a year. So that's really something. Okay, next on our list is to pay or not to pay is the question. I'm talking about ransomware. Now, ransomware attackers, they don't care about average people like you and me. I mean, we're just the little guys, but we still get the occasional attack. But the big international cyber gangs and the criminals, they go for big money from big companies. They want big government agencies like sheriff's departments and hospitals and schools and colleges. Why? Because they know that these organizations, despite all the warnings, are still generally unprepared. So they're going to pay big money to avoid this embarrassment of being hit by ransomware in order to get their locked files back. So how much money is big money? Well, research out this past week that just 2 years ago, the average ransomware payment was around $170,000. Now, we're not talking about little folks like you and me again. These are big companies. Today, the average payment has increased 5-fold to just over $800,000. Now, half of all victims pay the money, usually to keep things quiet and have the news away from voters and contributors and taxpayers. And of course, not to be forced to resign maybe a cushy IT job. Let me tell you, we have to do better than this, okay? Now, if you're at home, you're saying, I don't have to worry about this. You do. That's why you need to have an online backup in the cloud. So if you ever get hit by ransomware, they lock your files up, you can say, there you go, I got a backup. Go pound sand. Number 3 on our list is job fishing. Yeah, everybody's been talking that we're now living in this great resignation. People are quitting their jobs in record numbers. Well, this year, about half of the 25 to 50-year-old workforce are seriously considering quitting for another job. So scammers, they know this, it's making news, and they're making the most of it. And they're taking advantage of even smart and savvy people like us. So remember this word. It's called job fishing. So working from home in the anonymity of the internet allows scammers. They're creating these fake companies that, let me tell you, I saw a page. It looks so real. The companies look like they've been around for years. Many have employee reviews praising the company on various websites like Glassdoor. And then I don't know how, and get this, I don't understand how it happened. Some people work for months and many move to other cities on their own dime before they discover that the companies are fake. They don't really exist. So if you're approached online, your best defense is to verify. Google the company name with the word scam. And, ask the company to fly you in so that you can see for yourself. You have to be careful. Very, very careful. Number 4 on our list is Apple Watch news. Wow, this is really something too. The sheer amount of tech that we carry with us each day is just staggering, right? I mean, our smartphones conduct millions of more instructions per second than all of the combined guidance system computers that were used in the first moon landing. Now, if you wear an Apple Watch, its powerful onboard computer could even save your life. Okay, I know that you know this. I mean, if you fall, that it can automatically call 911. But the Apple Watches are preloaded with sensors that monitor your heart. You can see it on the back of the watch. And the sensors can easily detect AFib that greatly increases your risk, of course, of stroke and heart failure. You can even take an ECG at home, an electrocardiogram, and then your doctor can see your heart's rhythm in seconds. Well, Mayo Clinic has an even more powerful algorithm for the Apple Watch that's almost as accurate as a 12-lead hospital ECG. So if you have heart disease of any kind, you really ought to be talking about the Apple Watch with your doctor right away. Oh, if you want to save money on the Apple Watch, they just started selling refurbished models of the Apple Watch Series 7 inside the Apple Store. So you can save like $70 choosing a refurb Series 7 models compared to just go ahead and buying a new one at a retail store. Number 5 on our list, should kids say please and thank you to Alexa? A question for all parents. Should our children be taught to say please and thank you with smart speakers? Amazon says that its Alexa-powered Echo Home Assistant is just one of its all-time biggest sellers. And so I've heard from parents asking me if their kids should be polite when asking questions and interacting with an internet-connected smart speaker and smart assistant. Okay, so both Amazon's Alexa and Google Assistant, they want you to be polite. If you're nice to it, you get nice back. So using the word please and thank you, they'll actually say thank you and you'll hear you're welcome. And I am all for polite kids. Let me tell you, if this helps teach children manners, go ahead. Tell them to thank their smart speakers. But consider this. Many parents with a smart speaker are so upset that their children's first words aren't mommy and daddy or mama, dada. It's not that. It's now Alexa. And to me, that's just so incredibly sad. And what's a question that Alexa just simply cannot answer? You ready for this one? Alexa, why are you unplugged? Okay, because we don't want you listening. We don't want to have everything we say sent to Amazon. Hey, stay right where you are. We're going to start with all of your great phone calls and still to come in just a few moments. The sites that you can use to find what's new and binge-worthy to watch this weekend here on The Kim Komando Show. If you love The Kim Komando Show, and I know you do, thank you, is that you're going to love The Kim Komando Show free email newsletters. And you can get those by heading over to komando.com/subscribe. That's komando.com/subscribe. And how about we start this show with Bobby? Hello there, Bobby. Glad to have you with us.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well,
my 15-year-old daughter enjoys listening to your show, as do I, and especially enjoy what we affectionately refer to as your dad joke puns.
You're like, oh, no, did she just say that?
Absolutely.
So how can I help you?
Well, my wife and I own a business, a ladies' clothing boutique, and we also have an online store. Our POS system is through Shopify, and they also host our website. And we have recently discovered that another website domain has copied our website and has listed their website by adding the word shop in front of our website. And therefore, we believe that most of, not all of our traffic is going to that website. And then we're also receiving multiple phone calls and emails daily of people wanting to know where their product is and why it hasn't been delivered and wanting refunds.
Yeah, now you sent me an email because I looked at when you sent me a note, I went down the rabbit hole for you, Bobby. I'm just letting you know. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, we've been doing the same thing and haven't gotten very far.
Is that I especially like where your wife has the blog, and your wife's gorgeous, by the way, and she talks about this boutique that she had, and she was tired of the large scale retail stores. And then on the clone site, they had that same quote. I was like, really? I mean, even down to that. And then at the clone site, it looks like your site, even up to including if you have a support ticket that they email you. Okay.
That's correct. Yes.
Oh, geez. Well, let me tell you a couple of things now. Let me tell you what I've done, and then for everybody else who's listening, in case this ever happens, here are some steps that you need to take. Is that you want to find out who owns this domain, okay? And on the internet, you can do what's called an who is search. And the who is search will sometimes tell you the registrar's address, and sometimes it'll say that it's hidden. Sometimes you'll get a phone number, an email address, or whatever it is. But it's not worth you contacting the people who have cloned your site, because what are they going to do, right? I mean, we already know that they're scammers and thieves. So if you just email them and say, oh, by the way, I think you're stealing from me, do you think they're really going to help you? No, they're not. So what you have to do is you want to cut them off right at the knees, Bobby. You know what I mean? So
yes.
What we do there is that you find out who's hosting the website. And when you do that, because again, remember, I went down the rabbit hole for you. I found out that there's an ISP called DigitalOcean that is hosting this website. And I'm going to send you this contact information, so don't worry about writing it down. And what you do at that point is you go to DigitalOcean. They typically have an abuse department, and you explain the situation. This is your website. This is the cloned website. And take some screenshots showing what it looks like. You know how to do that, right? And you can also, in any browser, you can just do file save, and you can save that entire website if you wanted to. But I want you to get some legal proof, all right?
Okay.
And so one of the great things that you have on your website at the very bottom is a copyright notice. So these people are violating your copyright. So when you write to the abuse department, be sure that you explain to them that you have a copyright notice on the bottom. And I have never seen any hosting company say, oh no, we're going to go in favor of the clone site. You know why? Because they don't want the legal hassle. They're just going to cut them off as soon as they take a look at it. Now, one of the things that you might want to take a look at to further ensure that this doesn't happen again is, I have to say this, Bobby, because they make me, I'm not a lawyer, I can't give you legal advice, but if you could trademark the name of your store, and what that means that if anybody ever uses that name anywhere on the internet, then you can go to a higher level, and that's the Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers. And that also will help if anybody in the future tries to clone what you're doing.
Okay, we've found some of that information and didn't know how to proceed from there. And then we're also finding out we're concerned about our search engine optimization, and that it appears that traffic is being redirected from our site to this clone site, and didn't know. Obviously, I think we can get this taken down now knowing to contact DigitalOcean, but would maybe even be considering, like you said, some legal action, because these people are actually stealing from us, our intellectual property, our website design, and so forth, along with stealing from the customers that think that they're buying our product or that company's product.
Yeah, the problem is that I don't want you to rack up a ton of legal fees, because as soon as you tell these people to go away, they will vanish. They will be gone. Some years ago, I got a call on the show. The guy calls me up. It was like the strangest thing. Calls me up and goes, hi, Kim, love the show. I didn't realize that you had dark hair. And I'm like, oh, I don't. He's like, yeah, and gosh, you know what? there's a website and you have dark hair and, and they're taking credit card numbers. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. And it looks kind of like a porno site. I'm like, what? Okay. And so from there, it was that somebody was using a spelling iteration of my name. But because I had the name trademarked, I was able to just get them out of business in a nanosecond. And so I think you're going to find that as soon as you file this abuse complaint, they will vaporize. They're going to go find somebody else. And eventually your search engine optimization will come back because there's not going to be this clone site with your name on it. So you've got some homework. You've got some steps to do. I was talking to Jeremy about this in our studios here the other day, and he mentioned that there's a WordPress plugin that can prevent somebody from doing this in the future, but it does not work with Shopify that you said that you mentioned. So just some things that you want to keep in mind in the future, if in case you ever build a new site, start doing some other different type of e-commerce. But if you need any help afterwards, Bobby, just give me a call. I'm totally here for you. All right. The weekend is coming up faster than you can imagine. And before you say, oh, gosh, there's nothing to watch. Okay, I have an insider secret to finding what's new and binge-worthy. Now, I know that you have this endless supply of movies and shows to watch. Once you joined the streaming movement, you signed up for every streaming service under the sun. Yes, raising my hand too. But the problem is finding the gems. That's where these websites can help you from just mindlessly scrolling through your streaming service thumbnails and program descriptions. Now, these two sites, justwatch.com and reelgood.com, that's REEL, of course, because we're talking about movies and shows, they work the same way. You pick your streaming service, and then you can say new or popular or genre. And then what's great is you can quickly see what's available on the different streaming services. Number 3 on our list is RottenTomatoes.com. You can see what's trending along with the tomato meter ratings from editors and other people on the internet. But if you're looking for something to watch and you haven't seen, well, let me give you 3. The Dropout about Elizabeth Holmes, Recrashed about WeWork, and finally, I really liked Outlander. All right, still to come, we have some more tips about hackers' new way to infect your system here on the Kim Komando Show. Okay, coming up in just a few moments, a great tip on how you can trade in your old gear for Amazon Cash. But first, I have to talk to you about hackers' new way to infect systems. I mean, you already know that clicking on a Word doc attached to an email, it's just a really easy way to get your system hit by malware or stalkerware. But now hackers are turning to a much simpler technique, and you really need to know about this. All right, the good old phishing email has grown up from the days of sharing riches with those Nigerian princes, right? But as we get more knowledgeable, the hackers are changing tactics. So their latest MO is using what's called RTF files, or rich text format files. These are a little harder for your typical AV software to detect and block. And so many companies let RTF files through their firewalls because, well, it's a pretty common file format. So the advice, stop and think before you click on that link. And in this case, do not fall for an email with an RTF attached from someone who you think that you know, because they're just somebody trying to get into your system and put on some malware and stalkerware, whatever else that they want to get on there. All right, let's see. Jody. Hello there, Jody. Glad to have you with us.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh, you betcha.
Hey, I am actually looking at dash cam for my truck because last week I was involved in a hit and run.
Oh, no.
And so I'm looking, but everybody is okay.
Oh, good.
So I went online to do my research. So there are a lot of brands and a lot of models out there. So I am kind of looking for something that is Wi-Fi, that is 4K or an SD card. I'm not too sure what to get.
Yeah, there's tons of them out there, right?
Exactly. And I even went onto your website to read on articles, but I wasn't able to find anything. So I was like, just give Kim a call. That's what I'm doing.
Well, thank you, Jody. You know what? Thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. When you start talking about dash cams, you're right, totally. I mean, there are just so many different, especially when you go to Amazon. You're like, wow, I had no idea that we had so many. So a couple of things that you want. I always like you to have the front and the rear cameras. And so this way you can see what's going on, in front of you. You can also see what's going on inside the truck, in the car, especially if you're, by the way, and not that you are, but if anybody's ever an Uber or Lyft driver, it's super important. The other thing, too, is that you want a built-in shock sensor. And so this will actually detect when an accident has happened or an event, and it locks the footage so that it can't be overwritten. Now, that Wi-Fi is good because this way it connects to an app, and then you can watch, you can download, you can share the videos. In addition to that, you may be able to use a USB cable if you want. So anyway, you want to have like a whole range of features. 4K records what's going on. And then maybe some different type of modes. And so when we start doing that, there's one in particular that we kind of zeroed in on over at Komando.com. And I'm really hard on dash cams, but this one's like it's on sale. It's it used to be $200, but you can find it on sale for like less than $150. But I'll send a link to it. But it's made by a company called Red Tiger. And it's got
Right. I did see that run on Amazon. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and it has some great, reviews and some great ratings. We've actually reviewed it over at Komando.com, and I apologize that we weren't able to give you that through the search result automatically, but we'll do some SEO on that particular page. But you'll find a link to this dash cam over at Komando.com/community in the Q&A forum. And I'm so glad that you weren't hurt in the accident, Jody, and thank you so much for your call. Up next is Dawn. Hi there, Dawn.
Hi, Kim. It's an honor to talk to America's digital goddess.
Oh, you're so sweet, Don. Thank you.
As a longtime listener and Kim Club member, I want to thank you for all the info and the quality of life you've provided us over the years.
Oh, you're sweet. It's really my honor and pleasure because, in the beginning of when I was starting my career, I was a programmer. And I hated that. So I found something that I really like to do and make money at it. It was like, wow, look at this.
Yeah, I did programming too, and I grew quickly to hate that also.
Oh, so. It's so one-dimensional, just sitting right there. I mean, it's good in problem solving and, there's some gratification at the end, but I'm more of a people person, obviously. But what's going on with you?
Well, I would like to create a video recording of my home and my personal belongings just to archive it in case I might need it in the future for like an insurance claim or something. And I've tried a couple of things. I've tried a camcorder. I've tried my iPhone. And the result is the same both ways. I get a series of small video files that when I copy them either to a computer or to a disk, I have to manually navigate from one file to the next to view them. And I'm wondering, isn't there any way I can create one file that will play back continuously as I stream it?
Well, let's talk about the home inventory. So the home inventory is in case a fire, theft, all the above. Right?
Right.
Okay. So, go ahead. Go ahead. You finish.
And the thing is, as I go from room to room, I need to stop and restart the recording. And that's where I get the multiple videos.
Well, I know you want to do it that way. Can I tell you about a better way?
Please do.
Okay. Is that there are these programs like Sortly, another one's called Memento Database. And what it does is it allows you to go room by room and you take pictures, or you can scan barcodes, whatever it may be. You take pictures of everything that's in that room, and then you can say what it is. And some of these programs even will go out on eBay and give you a current value of whatever that memento, whatever it may be that you want to make sure that you have a picture of. So you have a full database, so to speak. So if you wanted to say, show me all my, just collectible books. And you have books in one room, another room, then you can find out all those books. Let's say you want to move. And so you have everything in this one room. It's in a database. What you can do is you can put it in a box. And then instead of writing on the box the old-fashioned way, den, right? Okay.
I've done that.
All right. I think we all have. And you're like, dang, I don't remember what was in the den. So, and then you like open the box and you peel to the bottom. You're like, okay, oh wait, I think that was in the family room. Okay, so yeah, okay. So if you ever go to move, is that you can say, okay, here's everything in the den, and because it's already in a database, is that you put a QR code on the outside of the box. You scan the QR code, and you're like, oh, there's my father's bell that he gave me. Okay, so.
That is cool.
So yeah, so instead of us, taking that video and walking all around, and I know what you're saying, you want to get one continuous video, and that's not really made. I mean, there's some apps that can do that, but there's better ways to do that now to that make more sense. And when you give something away or you sell something, is that you just take it out of the database. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need to go do that video again.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
And I assume you'll give us some links to some of that
sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I will. So I know it's not the answer you wanted, but I think it's probably a better solution, right?
It sounds like it.
Okay.
Sounds like a much better solution.
All right, Don. So I'm going to put you on hold, and since you're a member of the community, and thank you so much for doing that. Do you watch the show?
Oh yes.
Awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you in?
I have to tell your listeners they're really missing out if they don't watch the show, the recording, to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That behind the scenes is so entertaining.
Oh, well, thank you. And what the behind the scenes is for everybody is that when the radio stations go to break is that we chit chat, we show videos. The last segment we just talked about, Mike's still trying to find the right love of his life. And we're helping him along. Let's just put it that way. We're helping him along. And, thank you for your support, Don, and for everybody else who's a member of the community, because, as a small business, everything counts, right? I mean, every little bit helps. And it's your support, not just on the show and the radio stations and good things like that, but also what we do on the website. And as a member of the community, Don, once again, thank you for being that, is that you can use the Q&A forum. And the Q&A forum is where I post some links of some things that I talk about. So I'll post some links to 3 different home inventory programs that make perfect sense, so that this way you can not have that long video recording, Don. No. We're not going to let you do that. All right, take a look around your house. Do you have any old gadgets that are just sitting there collecting dust? You're not using them anymore? Well, trading them in can get you a decent Amazon credit or discount on your next purchase. You can even swap tech out that no longer works. Yes, if it doesn't work, you can send it to them. You start at the Amazon trade-in page, you find your device, you answer questions about the condition of the device, and then you get a trade-in value. Amazon even gives you a free shipping label, so some safety. Be sure to wipe the device. You want to erase all your personal information and then restore it back to factory settings before mailing it in. Now, when Amazon receives it, they're going to credit your account with the trade-in amount. If you don't agree with the amount, Amazon will mail it back to you for free. Or if you live near an Amazon Books or you break it, you can actually take your gear in there and they'll give you the whole value and do the whole trade-in. So some things that you want to consider: cell phones, Blu-rays, Kindles, laptops, tablets, video game systems are also pretty big. All right, still to come this hour, we have more of your phone calls, and we're going to talk about how you can recover deleted files, in case you made a mistake, and also a hack to get the best action shots from your smartphone's camera here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, vacations are here. And let's talk about a hack to get the best action shots, because what you want to start using is burst mode, because what it does, it takes multiple photos each second you hold down the shutter button. And afterwards, you can just pick the ones that you want to keep. So use an iPhone 10 or earlier, hold the camera shutter button. Newer iPhones, swipe the shutter button to the left. Either way, just lift your finger to stop taking photos in burst mode. And if you're on Android, I love you too. Just hold down your camera shutter button to enable burst mode. All right, back to the phones we go with Sharon. Hello there, Sharon.
Hello, Kim. I want to thank you for all the information that you give to us unsavvy computer individuals.
Well, my
I'm
pleasure.
hoping you can help me with this one.
Okay. Tell me what's going on.
I had an Amazon Prime account and an Audible account I was paying for both of them through all of it. The Amazon Prime account I only had for 2 years, but the Audible account I had for a good 15 years.
Wow.
When I called and canceled my Amazon Prime, they canceled my Audible also. And when I called to ask them what was going on and why did they do this, they said, well, you canceled your Amazon Prime, but I didn't cancel Audible. And they wiped all my information. All my books are gone, everything.
What was the time between when you canceled the Amazon Prime to when you figured out that the Audible was gone?
About 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay, let's just back up just a sec.
Sure.
And then so an Audible membership, just so everybody it was on the same page as us, okay, Sharon? It doesn't come free with a Prime account. Now you do
no,
get with
it does not.
Right, and with Prime you have something called Prime Reading. Prime Reading will give you certain books for free. It'll give you certain audiobooks for free. Typically not the greatest titles, but it is free. And so it may be worth something checking out. Now, when you do cancel your Audible account because you did purchase these audiobooks, you are supposed to still have access to those audiobooks that you purchased. But you're saying that you don't have that.
No, not at all.
And what does Amazon say?
And when I called them to ask, they said, well, we can't find your account. And I've given them 3 different email addresses with the time frame that those applied, and they can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, you know what? This is very frustrating for you. And I wish that I had Jeff Bezos' personal cell phone number because I would call him for you. Okay. But I don't. And I'm sorry that I don't. But what I can do is that from time to time we have Amazon PR folks that contact us and tell us all about the latest and greatest things that are happening on Amazon so that this way, we can write about all the wonderful things that Alexa's doing and all the new commands and things like that. So let me do this. I put you on hold. So I want to make sure that we have a great email address and a great phone number for you so that we can step in and see if there's something that we can do to help get these books back for you by contacting their PR representatives. And speaking of Amazon, and Sharon, thank you so much for your call and your kind words, and we'll help you out off the air with this. Hey, if you love all this tech know-how, make sure wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple, Google, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, you name it, I want you to look up Kim Komando Today. That's my podcast Monday through Friday. Yes, I know. It's 30 minutes each day. We're going to keep you up to date. And on Fridays, actually, it's a special podcast where I sit down with Allie and Matt and some folks here at the Kim Komando Show, and we call that Tech Refresh. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K, of course. All right, it's happened to you. You deleted a file on accident. It's gone into that digital graveyard. Can you get it back? Well, first of all, you should be making backups. I know that, but just in case, open your device's trash or recycle bin. Okay, but let's say it's not there. There are some good file recovery tools that work based on how files get saved. See, when you delete a file, it's actually still stored on the device's drive. The operating system just marks the space and say, hey, if you want to save something, I'm available over here. Meaning, the next time you need to save something, it's going to take that spot. So the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you recover files as soon as you can. If you're on a Mac, use a program like Ease US Data Recovery. And if you're on Windows, there's a program called Recover. Okay, not just because I'm from New Jersey. That's actually the name of it. It's Recover. Hey, thanks for joining us and thanks for listening. And don't forget, the show never ends. Get those breaking security alerts and more on my website. That's Komando.com with a K, of course.
Before Shopify, were you wondering, where are my sales at? Now you're selling with Shopify, the global commerce platform supercharging your selling. You have no problem selling online, in person, on social media, and beyond. Gary, easy on the cha-ching.
Oh, sorry, but my Shopify sales are through the roof.
Start selling with Shopify today and discover how millions of businesses around the world use Shopify to ignite their selling. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/listen. Shopify.com/listen.